Have you been using these cheap leather conditioners that you find at the auto parts store with hopes of prolonging the life of your seats? I used to do it all the time. Rubbing that oily goop on them regularly made me feel like I was nourishing the hide, and their shiny appearance afterwards meant that they were hydrated and protected. Yeah, you're welcome. But that's one of the biggest mistakes that people make when trying to care for their beloved car. The truth is, leather conditioners can actually do more harm than good, especially if your seats are relatively new. So today, I'm going to show you how leather conditioners cause damage to your seats, the best way to actually avoid wear and tear, and an example of when you probably should condition your seats. Let's dig into it. But first, what am I touching right now? If you guessed leather, you'd be wrong. Most modern cars nowadays use what's called coated leather, and it's exactly what it sounds like. It's leather with a clear coat over top. This is what uncoated leather looks like, and this is coated leather. So I'm touching a clear coating right now, and not the skin of Bessie the bovine, who selflessly gave her life so that I would be able to travel in comfort to my favorite steakhouse. We can compare coated leather to a modern base clear paint job. So we have our base coat, or our color coat, and then we have a clear coat over top. Now, anytime we wash or polish or wax or even ceramic coat our paint, we're only touching this clear coat on top. We're never touching the base coat that has the color in it. There's nothing we can do to the actual color coat unless we completely burn through this clear coat. Then we can access this, but also we're headed to the body shop to get a new paint job. The leather on your seats is very similar to the base coat of your paint. We can only touch this clear coat that's on top of it. It would be crazy to think that we could buff out a blemish in our paint that is sealed underneath the clear coat because we understand it's sealed underneath the clear coat. So what makes us think that we can somehow hydrate the leather of our seats? I used to think it was as simple as that, but now I'm starting to believe that there's a little bit more to it. We'll get into that in a minute. A typical oil-based wipe-on, wipe-off leather conditioner is just going to sit on top of the clear coat, and it's not going to soak in. It's going to leave the seat oily and greasy feeling. It's also going to attract dirt and dust. Imagine you spill coffee on your seat. If you get to it in time, you'll be able to wipe it off quick and easy, no problem, right? Well, that proves that the coffee was sitting on top of the coating and not touching the hide of the leather at all. Now, if the protective coating was allowing your leather conditioner to get through that easily, that means that the coffee would also be getting right through to the leather, and it would be nowhere near as easy to wipe off and clean as it actually is. If stains and leather cleaners work on top of the coating, that means that your leather conditioner is staying on top as well. After all, if we could access the leather itself that easily, what would the point of the protective coating be in the first place? Consider what's happening here. So we have a surface that's already susceptible to wear, which is the friction of us sliding in and out of our vehicles, combined with abrasive sticking to it, like dirt and dust. That's a recipe for cracks, tears, and rips, and really any other kind of weather wear that you can think of. You'd actually be better off just leaving them completely bare than putting some cheap leather conditioner on them and creating this new problem. So what are you supposed to do to prolong the life of your beloved leather seats? It's actually really simple. I like to call it the 3 C's. I just made that up. The first C is keep them clean and free of contaminants. Back when I was detailing cars, I used to see seats with a buildup of dirt and sand and little pebbles. These things are all highly abrasive when you rub them across the surface. Think of every bit of dirt as a tiny grain of sandpaper rolling around on your seat, and every time you slide in or out, you're grinding that into your leather surface. The second C is to protect the coating and not the leather. Products like G-Technic L1 Leather Guard are designed to protect the coating of your seats. So it's not going to make them greasy or shiny. It's not even really that noticeable, but it protects against wear and tear and stains like dye transfer and stuff if you're wearing dark jeans. This is what I use on the light gray leather in the 4Runner. Does a pretty good job. And finally, be careful. Climb up and over the side bolster of your seat as much as possible. And I know that can be difficult sometimes, especially like on a lifted vehicle. Unfortunately, my 4Runner has been a victim of this. It came with some damage from the previous owner on, what do you know, the driver's side bolster of the seat. So you want to try and climb up and over that bolster as much as possible rather than sliding across it. Notice that the center console side of the seat is not worn whatsoever. The leather is still in perfect condition. It's just on that outside part. And in extreme cases, it'll actually wear the cushion itself and not just the leather, and that'll completely destroy the whole seat. So try your best not to slide across the bolster. I know a lot of time it's unavoidable, especially on taller trucks, but simply keeping this idea kind of in the back of your head will make a really big difference every time you're climbing in or exiting your vehicle. If your vehicle has a grab handle, make sure you use that to climb up and in. That'll be a great way to take your body weight off of the edge of the seat. If your truck has side steps, use them. As a taller person, I kind of find this extra little step sort of awkward and uncomfortable feeling. But it might be a habit worth getting into though, because it can 100% save your seats. Fun fact, I actually sent part of this video script as an email to my Gearhead Grinds newsletter. And I did that like a few weeks ago. So if you enjoy this type of car care content, as well as like industry news and opinion pieces and behind the scenes content of the brand, make sure you're signed up for that, all right? So when should you use a leather conditioner on your seats? Remember when I compared coated leather to a modern base clear paint job? Well, it's not exactly the same. You see, even though your paint does indeed have flex agents in it in order to allow it to expand and contract based on the temperature, it's still on a solid surface. Your soft, cushy leather has way more give in it. So I don't necessarily disagree with people who would argue that they've seen results from using a leather conditioner on their seats. I think there's two different possibilities here. Number one, the leather coating is engineered to look, feel, and behave like the leather itself. It's designed to mimic the actual leather. So the conditioner might be softening and moisturizing the coating and not the leather. This can easily be mistaken for the product having an effect on the leather itself, because it feels that way. But in actuality, the clear coat was dry and hard, and that's what you treated. So it feels like you've saved your leather, but you've actually saved the polyurethane coating. Two, since the coating is so flexible, it has to be somewhat permeable, right? So using high quality products from companies like Leatherique and Color Lock, it can actually help to restore older, dried out leather. And here's the kicker though, they have to be left on the surface for a really long time in order for it to actually find its way through that clear coat. Given enough time, it will soak through potentially and reach the leather itself. Rubbing it on and wiping it off though, like most of these cheap conditioners tell you to do, it really does nothing at all. Allow me to play the devil's advocate here a little bit here, because I have noticed that using a good quality leather conditioner on my MR2 seats seemed to soften them and have some kind of a result. What the heck? But check out the build date on this car. June of 1990, which makes these seats 34 years old. So not only is the leather worn, but the coating on top of the leather is also worn out and thinned. The conditioner is allowed to affect the leather a little bit more because the protective coating is thin and diminished. It's letting more get past. And that's not even taking into account the cracks and the creases that set in over time that can really allow the conditioner to reach deeper into the seat. None of this applies to newer vehicles, which is why even the manufacturer recommends that you use nothing more than like a mild cleaner and maybe a damp cloth on your seats, but they don't recommend any leather conditioners or anything like that because, well, quite frankly, they're still hydrated just fine. So what would I use to protect seats like these in the MR2 in this kind of a situation where I'm dealing with kind of old, worn out leather? Well, I wouldn't use the G-Technic L1. As a matter of fact, I've tried it on these and it just kind of like made them feel kind of hard and crunchy. Did the opposite of what I was looking for. Again, it's because these seats are worn out. So I have a couple of options here from Lithium. These guys seem to get it. So this is Hyde Rehab. This is one that I've used quite a bit of. This is the more mild option. So I have their website here on my phone. This is how you can tell if a company like gets it or not, or if they're trying to sell you something that doesn't make any sense. It says, its natural ingredients work great with protective urethane coatings found on most new leather seats. So guys, you can score Lithium as a company that gets it. Now, that would probably work fine, that's good, but I also have Leather Love here. This is for more extreme cases where the seats are really dried out and really needing some help to come back to life. This is more like a balm that you would apply as opposed to like a liquid like the other one. But get this, in the directions of this one, it actually mentions, again, kind of backing up my theory here, allow contents to remain for 30 to 60 minutes before you buff it dry. So that's very different than some cheap, crappy part store conditioner that you just wipe on, wipe off, and it leaves everything shiny looking. Another little side note there, guys. If anything in your interior looks shiny or wet, that means one of two things. Either it's completely filthy with body oils and snot and stuff like that, or maybe before you watch this video, you put some kind of a protective product on there that left the surface greasy and wet. Your leather, your vinyl, all of the different materials in your interior are intended to have a matte appearance. And if they don't, that means they're dirty or they got the wrong product on them. If you're interested in any of these products that I'm mentioning in this video, I'll throw some links down in the description for you if you want to check them out. The thing is, protecting your leather seats is only a small portion of caring for your car's interior, so check out this video next to watch my full interior detailing process.